Hello, and welcome to the Bankers Tech Talk video series, looking at all things fintech. We've been going now for about 6 years, and you can watch all the previous episodes on thebanker.com/techtalks. I'm Joy Macknight, editor of The Banker, and my guest this week is Michael Kamerman, who is CEO of online trading venue Skilling. Thanks so much for joining me, Michael.
Thanks for having me, Joy.
Okay, and there was a lot of talk really around the democratization of the markets on the one hand, and then also the rise of sort of the activist investors. What's your opinion on that?
The fintech aristocracy, if you will, like financial institutions, are fighting to remain relevant in the face of the fintech landscape undergoing an unprecedented disintermediation. Banks used to be the central source for lending, borrowing, investing, advising, trading, etc. And now you have an app on your phone for almost every one of these items. And companies like ours, Skilling, we've risen to become expert specialists in a particular segment. And that's true for, I think, each segment of financial services. So no longer do you have to have everything under one roof, and no longer is there a central authority determining what you consume or who you listen to when you're considering financial products. So in sum, I don't think there's any better time to be a trader or an investor than right now.
Okay. But do you think that brokers in digital private banking platforms should take more responsibility in providing education as well as access to markets?
Well, let's start with access. So right now, I think the situation is that retail traders are at the castle gate, and they are going to knock down the wall if you don't provide access. And I'll give you two examples. One is within my industry, and one is outside my industry. Within our industry, cryptocurrency trading is very popular, and most of my competition offers the big guys: Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, etc. At Skilling, and I'm 100% sure at my competition as well, customers are requesting for and searching for all of the nascent cryptocurrencies. So the one that's been in the news is obviously Dogecoin. We offer Dogecoin, and many of our competitors do not. They take a philosophical stance on whether or not it should be offered for various reasons. We offer the product to our customers within responsible trade limits and caps on leverage, and our customers voted with their cursors. We had a record number of accounts and revenues following that launch. Outside the industry, I think access is gaining attention as well. So outside our industry, something I follow just with personal interest is the trading of private securities, private placements. Investors are realizing that there's a lot of equity upside in companies prior to them going public. So I think there's been a boom in the private equity trading world, if you can call it that, where services and companies are cropping up to allow investors and traders access to shares of privately held companies. So to me, the writing is on the wall that in time, there will be privately held companies trading on platforms like the one Skilling offers. And I think that's really exciting to see, because you work with a private company and you can just clearly see these guys are doing great. Every interaction with them is phenomenal. The staff seem engaged. They've got the best-in-class product, but they're private. I think it's exciting to think that you will be able to at some point have those experiences and then trade those instruments or invest in those instruments way ahead of time, way ahead of an IPO. I think on the topic of education, yes, education is obviously super important, but I think financial education it's becoming it's a commodity at this point. And I think it's accelerating in ways that the broker or the financial institution may not be the best source of it. There's been a rise in this creator economy where the information age that we're in has enabled an army of YouTubers, influencers, podcasters, bloggers to build up huge followings, because there no longer is a central authority saying, well, this guy or this gal, they work at an investment bank and therefore they are qualified to talk to you. Now people are able to go to anyone that has an interesting story, that has interesting insights.
So can you tell me a little bit about how Skilling is helping that education drive?
So at Skilling, we've been pouring resources into areas that relate to education, such as a trading academy on our website. The academy is relatively new. It's being built out now as we speak, but it covers a lot of the basics that you need to know when you're trading. We're putting together free downloadable ebooks that we spent a lot of money and time on to both be informational, educational, but also interesting and easy to thumb through. Because what's happening right now in the world of education is there's this rise in edutainment, if you will, where you not only have to educate someone, but you have to entertain, and that's brought on by the information age, the digital economy that we're in, and the rise of creators, digital creators. And so we're kind of having to follow that as well. We have to make our educational materials entertaining to an extent. So we are putting time and resources into this because we think it's very, very important. And we also, in time, will be unveiling what I would call a secret weapon as it relates to education, which is a tool that teaches emotional intelligence in trading and investing. Trading and investing is a very emotional experience. If your trade is stopped out or you have a string of big winners, there's emotions like fear and greed that kick in that can overtake you if you're not careful. And we've got some really interesting ideas on how to get that in front of our clients in a very unique way. But I can't say too much. That's coming soon.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your insights, Michael.
Thanks for having me.